Pulse School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Saskatchewan Pulse Growers, DuPont Verticin Fungicide, and Nodulator XL.
So we're at that time of year where growers might be considering some additional pulse acres and maybe haven't finalized all of those input decisions going along with their pulses, and one of those being inoculants. So there's three main things that growers can do to maximize inoculant performance. The number one thing you can do is to make sure that you're picking a really effective inoculant strain. The second thing that you can do is to make sure that you're delivering really high numbers of rhizobia onto the seed or into the soil. The third thing that you can do is to make sure that you're using a formulation that'll help you best accomplish that. In terms of inoculant formulations, that's one of the main questions that we often receive is which one would be best for me to use. And that's something that's really personal for your farming operation that you need to consider. There's three formulations that commonly get used in pea and lentil inoculants specifically. The first one is a liquid inoculant, the second being a peat-based formulation, and the third being granular. Let me say that they can all work just as effectively as the next one, but there are some limitations with some of the inoculant formulations. While the liquid formulation is relatively the most inexpensive one, you can't use it in a virgin ground situation, and also in situations where you might have really dry soils, performance can be limited. In terms of peat formulations, those numbers can be really highly effective, and they have some additions in there that will help protect you against drier situations, so they can be used in virgin ground situations. Granular inoculants are the most stable out of all three of the formulation, and they get applied through a dedicated tank on your air seeder at the time of seeding, rather than the liquid or the peat formulations that are applied to the seed prior to planting time. The granular formulations are the most robust, so they offer you the most buffer in terms of soil pH, in terms of stressful planting conditions and whatnot. There's no seed treatment compatibility issues associated with using a granular formulation, so it offers, again, more flexibility compared to the other two formulations. I do want to state that all three formulations can work on your farming operation. You just need to consider which one would maybe work best on your operation. Inoculation tips for seed-applied inoculants, so that being a liquid formulation or the peat-based formulations. There's three main things there as well. You really want to double check your compatibility of anything else that you're applying to the seed, whether it's a seed treatment or a polymer, colorant, whatnot. You need to make sure that it is compatible with rhizobia. Since rhizobia are living organisms, they can be impacted by other products that you're applying to seed. Not unlike crop protection products where manufacturers need to approve tank mix recommendations, all inoculant manufacturers will list seed treatment compatibility charts on their websites, so you'll need to make sure to refer to those every year to double check your safe planting window. The next thing that you need to remember is to take your time when inoculating the seed and to make sure that you're doing it right. Remember that your inoculant is replacing an equivalent amount of nitrogen fertilizer. Take the time to make sure that you get it right. Finally, once you do have the seed inoculated, make sure that you get that seed planted into the ground as soon as possible. And that way you'll make sure that you're maximizing the amount of viable rhizobia that you're delivering to the seed and into the ground, and that will be working for you later on.